Welcome to KJTV. And on the studio we have Dr. Judi, and we are going to talk about parachute spouses. Who are they? Welcome, Dr. Judi.
Thank you so much.
So, who are the parachute spouses?
So parachute spouses are, spouses who are willing to take any risk, fly anywhere, and be where they want to be, so that they gain something out of it. And something out of it means, is it a green card? Is it status? Is it money? They are parachuting.
They are parachuting?
Yes.
So, what are the examples of parachute parent? I mean, not parents, but spouses.
So, parachute spouses, I'd say this is a word we've coined.
Yeah.
And I've dealt with a lot of cases. I mean, in case you don't know me, or, I'll tell you a little bit about myself, but I'd say a lot of relationships in the U.S. Are based on, I want to get something from my community. I want to get like a spouse from somewhere else. So a parachute spouse will fly in or will do anything, maybe to be in the United States or to be in Kenya, so that they can get some benefits from whatever the other spouse has to offer. It doesn't necessarily mean that they care about the relationship. It doesn't necessarily mean that they care about the children that they actually sire from this relationship. For them, it's they're willing to parachute, and they will parachute anywhere.
So, are you trying to say, like, what I understand what you mean by a parachute is like, you go get a spouse from another country.
Yes.
To, like, for example, to United States of America.
Yes.
Is that what you mean by as a parachute?
Yes.
Spouse. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is the big deal with them? It's just a matter of love. I mean, you can love when the world goes wrong.
True. But you know what? Then a parachute spouse. I mean, just think about the parachute.
Okay.
You're flying, you land somewhere, and then we have so many issues. That's where we have...
Just like that.
Just like that. Then we have cultural issues. You know what? You landed me here. Now I have to figure out how to drive a car. In Kenya, they didn't drive on this side of the road. Or, I didn't know that I had to eat these kinds of food. And the parachute spouse is here. Or the parachute spouse arrives and realize the conditions are the conditions on the ground are so different. Like it's not what they expected.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't. It's not about putting your feet on the table and relaxing and having somebody serve you tea.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So like you're saying, for example, a young man lives here in the United States of America, maybe he has gone to school, he reaches a time he wants to get married, then he decides to go back to his original home to look for a wife.
Yes.
Gets a wife, parachutes the wife to America. He lands on a hard place in America, and there he starts life.
Yes.
And then complications start. What are some of the new issues about such a spouse who has landed? Now they have to live together in a new country.
So, what I'm seeing is a lot of spouses, don't know that, so this is different. And, if you had a very prestigious job, for example, or if, the spouse went to school and they had parents who were very well off, when they get here, what happens is now she has to go work in a nursing home. And she has to start somewhere because, like I have said before, America is an equalizer. So it doesn't matter your degrees. It could be from India, from somewhere in Nigeria, Morocco, Egypt, wherever it is. America wants to make sure everybody is on the same level, and that's because of the quality of care that we assure. every patient that comes through the door, especially in medicine. So a lot of those people, or a lot of our the parachuted might not understand that until they get here, and then we start seeing the frustration. So what do we expect? It really depends.
Okay. So are you advocating people not to parachute spouses and they get the spouses where the country where they are?
What I'm advocating is, I think before the parachuter or the person who is going to bring the parachutee here should...
Who is the parachuter? The parachutee.
So yeah, so you know what? Somebody has to have purchased the parachute, right?
Okay.
And they're going to
Together.
yeah,
Okay.
and fly.
I like this metaphor.
Yeah. So before they do that, you know what I want them to do? I want them to give them some orientation. I want them to tell them this is what America entails. You know, if you are a nurse or you are a doctor in Kenya, when you come here, you're going to be a nursing assistant. And what you do as a nursing assistant is you have to wipe.
But what? No. Well, let us be okay. There are people come with professions. I know that people come as engineers and they get a job as an engineer. Some come as an accountant. They get. There are some which are seamless. Like now, a nurse would only come here and they test out, and they get into that. I don't think that is much of a problem.
I think it is. You know what? A nurse trained in Kenya and a nurse trained here, very different. The medications are different, and you know, we have different names for medications. There is a process. So even doctors, you know, like you'd have a doctor, and I can give you examples next time. Like you'd have a doctor who was trained in Kenya. They were a doctor in Kenya for many years. They come here, they realize, oh my gosh, I have to take these exams. Oh, then I have to go through this. So it could take them up to 12 years.
But no, any country has its own rules. Even an American doctor going to Kenya, at least would have to pass through some orientation. The Kenya Medical Association has also put in place some things to do. So even an engineer, you would have to understand the codes, the engineering codes they're using in the country. So that everybody would need an organization, but some orientation. But I would think that the greater part of these parachute spouses have, where I see the irony is where somebody flies, goes back home to his country of origin, and then he marries a lady who is very innocent, or a man who's very innocent, because...
What is innocence?
Innocent in a way, he doesn't know anything. You know, when you come from here, probably if you want to marry anybody, nobody will say no. So you don't know whether this person loves you or loves America, or loves coming to America. Now, are you seeing the irony there?
I see.
Are you marrying for love? I think that's the nexus. I think we need to talk where those parachute spouses would have a problem. Here is a case. Somebody once, are you from America? Hey, you want to marry me? Oh, I'm ready. I was even ready yesterday anyway. Now, when he is parachuted here, the reality comes. I never loved this woman.
Yeah.
I never loved this man. And now you are leaving two strangers in the house. This one is already married to a country where I wanted to come. So it's okay. He can walk away, he can parachute again and leave you.
Right. And
don't you think that is a bigger problem than what you're talking about?
That is a bigger problem because, yeah, you're right. Because you know what? Here, I mean, another example that I want to just point out is, you know, even we have pastors who love Africa so much. So they go there and they see how humble and meek the women are. And, you know, the women are like, he's speaking really good English, so here, I want to be parachuted. So these pastors, or you know, whoever it is, they will parachute them back.
Yeah.
Once they get here,
Mm-hmm.
these parachutees are just out of hand. Because let me tell you, that's when hell turns loose. Then they say, did I tell you to bring me here?
Yeah, but let us not forget that we have had many successful spouses who are parachutes. Let us not try to.
Parachutees.
Yeah, you did you call them parachuta and parachutee?
Yeah,
And
parachutees. Mm-hmm.
parachutees are those who are abroad.
Yes.
And the parachuter is the one who brings the parachutee.
That's the operator.
Is that according to Dr. Judi or what?
According to Dr. Judi. Because you know what I mean, this is a coined word, but that's what we're thinking. You know, because when somebody organizes everything, that's what they're doing.
Okay. And this is a very practical, and we have had that problem, as I have told you. What will you advise such people? Because probably they are not married for love. Where somebody has a different interest on a marriage. I'm not saying even the people who marry here, they marry for different reasons. Some marry for different reasons too.
What is my advice? Here, you know, maybe spend some time. So the parachuters should spend some time with the parachutees before they bring them here, because you know, if they can even be there and just, you know, spend some time with them, because you probably would know somebody's character if you spend some time with them, and then before they land here.
No, but remember, this person is having a career. He has only either like a month of vacation from work. So he goes, and after he lands, he's busy hunting for a spouse.
A parachutee.
He's looking for a parachutee. So, time is running. 1 week he has not gotten any breakthrough. Second week he's now nervous. The third week he gets somebody. Then he has to run here. Then plans to bring that person.
So
he's not going to have time to go back there and live with this person.
Yeah. So then, you know what? Then that says, you know what? That's a calculated risk. It's like, it is a calculated risk, because you know what? If you're willing to take that parachutee and bring them here, I mean, you should maybe count your losses, because you don't know when the parachutee is going to turn around and just say, hey, you know what? I didn't even love you. I didn't know you didn't even brush your teeth in the morning. So, honey, I'm leaving.
So can we say, can I wrong to insinuate that you want to discourage parachute spousing? Then people marry here where they are, the people they know, the people who are adapted to this culture.
Yes or no, but you know, we can institute a few things. We can have investigators on the ground who have seen how these parachutees and parachuters are almost committing suicide when the parachutee gets here and she takes off. So maybe we can have our people just who know both of them, just a little background studies.
Yeah.
You know, just like before people hire you.
Yeah.
Don't they want to know?
Yeah, even if you know, let me tell you, even when they do background check, they think they have gotten somebody. There is always hidden attitudes which will never come on those background. Let me tell you, the marriage is a very complicated issue. And I know you have talked about your definition of parachutes, but sometimes when there is a crash of culture, and we have different types of people who we get a problem with. Yes, that kind of marriage, which I can call it parachute marriage, the one where somebody ships a spouse. We also have some issue of different people. There are people here who meet in here. Both of them came to their own ways and they met here, they got, and then they get married. There are people who were married back home. Maybe either a woman was here first or a man was here first. Then after sometimes he will go and process and bring that family. There are other people who come together, either they are coming on a work visa, like you come with the whole family, or some who win like this DV Rotary, they come, the whole family, they fly together like a parachute. And I don't know how you will call them, maybe you will coin their word, like where?
A comprehensive
they,
parachute.
A comprehensive parachute. So they just fly from there and come in. Let us talk about this comprehensive parachute. And I've had some cases about them. These people come, maybe they are coming from a very conservative culture, where a man's word was law. Everything. Now, they arrive in this country. Now, the first orientation you are told here, you know, here we are equal. You can even go cook. The man says, me cook. You know, he has never cooked. That culture, then problems come there, and then he's told that, you know, if he beats you here, call 911. Then you get a man. It's mostly the victims here, men. I've never had a woman go in for assaulting the husband. It's quite funny. I know many men are assaulted, but I've never had a woman. If you go to that jail roster, I've never seen a man who was actually, a woman who has been convicted there for assaulting a man. So the man, let me explain to you. Now a man gets in trouble, he's in jail, the records are spoiling, that family becomes an issue. A family which never had a problem back. The woman was submissive. Even when he's assaulted, even if you go to police, the police will tell you, what did you do that your husband had to assault you? You need to be disciplined. Then in back home. So this family, they have a problem. Like those parachute parents too. What don't you have some cases like that? People who come like that and then they have problem?
Well, a very touchy, and you know, can I differ?
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna differ, and I'm gonna differ for so many reasons, because you know I was raised in Nairobi. That is a very different perspective that I have to look at, because you know what? Now that is culture that is actually squirming in to what the expectations are. So you know what? I want us to really follow up on that, because yes.
Maybe that's for another comprehensive. You call it comprehensive.
Comprehensive
but
parachuting.
Now for this parachuting, you this is process. There have been some of the ugly instances which have occurred where when people come and they are living together, maybe when they are now here, they are totally different people in the same house, but with different purpose. The parachutee now realizes he never married a love of his life. Then the problem starts. This one wants to make a family. Then the problem occur and many things. So it's kind of complicated unless some survive and live happily, but some don't.
Yeah, and you know it's complicated, and that's why I think marriage counseling, really having people who've experienced that life before, and just even when we go ahead and decide, okay, you know what, Dr. Omandi, how do we counsel these people? Because unless we've been in those situations, unless we understand both sides of the story, sometimes it's so hard to try counsel one person versus the other.
Yeah, it takes two to tango, as I always say, because that's a very complicated topic.
Yes.
But then maybe what kind of counseling will they get? Because sometimes people don't come to that topic, that the underlying reason is that the way they started. No, always relationship, the way they start, that is rocky.
But you know what, though? I think that's where we want to have people who are really just open. Because at the end of the day, look at the Oprah Winfrey's of this world. Look at Lisa Nichols. When people are able to actually talk about these experiences, because we want to hide in the mud. I mean, everybody will tell you, oh, I'm so happily married. Oh, I'm this and that. But when you actually unveil everything, when you actually ask people, what's really going on? What are you going through? Until those cracks start to emerge, until we have arrests in the homes, until we have issues where we have to involve other people, until there's a divorce or somebody has been put out there on social media. Africans are very protective and they want to preserve a family image. So I think we need to talk about those things.
Yeah, that's a culture when you talk about culture. But there is a blending. For a relationship to go on, you have to blend. There are some things of culture you need to do away with if you really need to move forward. Because you cannot just stay like you cannot say like the Israelites, they were taken out of slavery and they were still on the wilderness talking about the wood meat they were eating in Egypt and what. There are some of the things, you carry good things from your culture, and if they don't fit in the modern time, you need to move forward. And there are also some of the things we cling to. Because sometimes you feel like what the society is going to talk about you, but always make a good decision. And you live this life once.
Everybody
live your life in abundance. If things are not okay,
then
find a way of doing it.
Yeah.
Not just harboring in
things.
some.
And those are the things that we need to encourage people to come out of.
Yeah.
I mean, the parachutees, the comprehensive parachuters.
That's a good one.
I know, right?
So how do you want to deal with them? Like, if you are the one having a parachutee, how would you advise people to deal with them when they come?
Yeah, parachutees are very confused. They're coming from a very different culture, so they're coming to the U.S. They're coming, with their own notions, and of course, here, if you have a parachutee who is over 21, problem. And if you have a parachutee who has preformed opinions, problem. So I'd say slow down, and sometimes it's actually, helping them to
adjust.
Well,
that was good.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that new term.
All right.
We will talk about it. The comprehensive parachutee, I think there is something we need to talk about.
The comprehensive parachutee.